How you doing, y'all? Matt, Massive Beers. Here with some, a little bit of Ranke up in this piece. It's been a while. Well, no, I did that, what is it, their bulbous, whatever it is, hoppy lager, which is mad hoppy. This is their Back to Black. This is a wood-aged porter. It's a 9.5% alcohol by volume. Back to Black. Where did I see porter in this? Somewhere. We'll figure it out. Aged on wood. Probably on the back. See all those words back there? They say things. It says, Drank, this beer has been designed as an old export porter. So not an export stout, an export porter. It's been brewed as undrinkable bitter and then aged in wood for 9 months. So undrinkable bitter from Ranke. We'll see how this works. The result is a strong, dark beer that has a perfect bitter-sour balance. So you're talking about a sour, bitter, export porter, Asian woods, a Shelton Brother jam. You see it. 2018. So this has time on it. I saw this at one of my local spots. It was like, I think it was $17 for the bottle. I just kind of wanted to drink it. It's got murk going on. We're gonna see what's what. So, anyway, the popping this cap is really gonna tell a lot about what this beer is all about. Not too bad. There's a little hiss there. I like that little bit of a hiss. So you're talking about 4 years, an export porter that was aggressively bittered, aged on wood, but also has sour tones. Don't know. Label-wise, it's absolutely fantastic. It's one of the reasons why I purchased the beer, just because the label is so cool. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this through lighting, but there is a stain going down the side of this. So it was just laid on its side for a very, very long time, probably before it actually got to the store in which I purchased it. As far as that looks, I mean, it looks like iced tea. You know, a little bit of a Turkey Hill iced tea up in this piece. Looks like lambic. Looks like porter. Looks like barley wine, actually. It looks like a lot of different things. But it's erring more towards brown than the black you'd expect from a porter or something like that. Not much of a head on it, but there is this soft kind of carbonation that's kind of creeping on the edges. So it's not like it's this flat, completely dead kind of beer. I'm intrigued. Give it a whirl. See what happens here. A little bit of head comes back, not that much. Nose. It smells like a Belgian Sour. Belgian Sour Porter, Belgian Sour Stout is kind of how it's coming off. So, getting these kind of richer, kind of more like chocolatey malts. But like more like malt bally, not like Baker's chocolate, not like a sweeter kind of milk chocolate. It's kind of this malted malt ball, kind of chocolate malted malt ball kind of vibe to it. There's this tart, slightly sour kind of Flanders-y thing kind of floating around on the edge of it. It's not like super acidic challenge Cascade level stuff, but at the same time it's not like just tarty kind of non-soury stuff, so it's kind of like very much in that kind of Flanders kind of universe. Red notes, red cherry notes, red cherry Flanders notes with that chocolate kind of component. So it's coming off pretty cool. Very much kind of like, a holiday, kind of Valentine's Day, kind of box of chocolates kind of thing going on here. There's a softness to it. I assume that's a little bit of wood there. That little bit of chocolate that's elevated beyond Baker's. I assume that's a little bit of vanilla from the wood. Maybe. Now, they talked about that overt bittering and they let it sit. There's a little bit of like a ghost of hops past, but nothing here really kind of reaches out and screams of bittering. It smells intriguing. It smells actually a lot like a stout I had from, and I know this is a porter. It was a Belgian sour stout from Dry Log, who's now Strange Roots. Probably about 10 to 15 years ago. For some reason, that's kind of clicking into my memory right now. So let's dive in. Cheers. Yeah, what beer is that? It's like So it's definitely reminding me of that beer. It's got this chocolate thing to it that's super, super cool. What was the name of that beer? People are going to be like, God damn it, you reviewed it. I remember you reviewing it. This is the name. I don't remember. So Dry Log came out, this, the Plague. That's the beer. They came out with a beer called the Plague. I believe it was a barrel aged, maybe like a wine or a raspberry based kind of Belgian dark beer, like a Belgian stout that was kind of like soured. If you take that and combine it with chocolate ganache from Allagash, it's kind of like that's the vibes this beer is giving me. Those don't suck, so this beer does not suck. Really sultry mouthfeel, like super soft, super like almost like satiny, kind of in how it comes off as far as mouthfeel goes. The tart portion of the show here is really, really fun. It is that kind of super tart, not sweetened, but Jolly Rancher-esque kind of tartness. Kind of that, again, Belgian sour kind of, Belgian sour porter stout kind of tartness to it. But that bittering they talked about here, this kind of crippling. What are the words they said here? Has a brewed as an undrinkable bitter. You get that here. It's like, a lot of times you have these older beers, or these beers that are brewed with like kind of like hops at the beginning and they kind of just age out of them. American barley wines, things like that are aggressive at the front, but ultimately in the grand scheme of things, you want them to kind of just lose a lot of that bitterness. It's the case here, but this one is like Sierra Nevada. Bigfoot would be like, I think this is a little bit too bittering. You know what I mean? It would be that level of bittering to where it's so aggressively bittering, which kind of makes sense with the rank and how they roll. But to see it age this old, 2 years plus, them saying, okay, we know we're going to hop the crap out of it, but we're going to actually let it sit so it kind of mellows out and still have not crazy bittering, but for how old it is and what it's gone through kind of bittering. It's a cool journey to go through. I like this beer. I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is the best tart, sour, Belgian, porter, whatever you want to call it. But the experience is really, really fun. I think that's what beer's all about, right? It tastes like inherently, like, not even just Belgian, but like, more like, like outside of Trappist Belgian, like Seine Valley, kind of just like this kind of like, we like to make tart, lambic or goose and stuff like that, but we want to make a richer stout. But we still want to keep kind of our core in line. That's where this kind of lands in a very, very fun way. I think this is a great experience at a $7.50 for $17. Again, it's kind of a little bit of a kind of like bummer. I'm drinking it alone because I think this is a conversation piece beer more than anything else. Drink it with a couple of people and see where they land on it, what they like, what they don't like. But it's really, really fun. And the odd part about it is it's really, really aggressive, but it's meant to be aged. I mean, they talk about having it kind of sit for a while, and then you talk about this being 2018 and, already 4 years old. I think this beer is really hitting its stride as far as not just the way I like to drink beers, but how probably Ranke wanted this beer to kind of be experienced and how people should go into it. I think this is kind of where they want this beer to sit, which is this kind of rich, wide berth, flabby, kind of tart, Belgian-style porter/stout that has this bittering component, this tart component, all these kind of fun little moving parts that end up being something that's a little bit more kind of, I don't know, for lack of a better explanation, more of that conversation piece I was talking about. It's something you want to talk about. Sometimes you have this beer that's really, really good and really drinkable. You know, you're talking about your crisper lagers or smaller pale ales that are like, they can be talked about, but they're more about let's drink. And if we happen to talk about this beer, so be it. It's kind of the opposite. Be like, we're going to drink this, but we're probably going to talk about it more than we're going to drink it in a very fun way. Polar opposites, but at the same time, equally enjoyable. Let's put it that way. I like this. I think it's fun. I'm glad I picked it up. Yeah. Local spot that gets a bunch of different kind of Euro stuff, you know, your Cantillons, Ray Fontaine, stuff like that. I just saw it, and I was like, you know, $17, $7.50. I didn't know it was sour. I was like, okay, you know, wood-based porter has some time at it. Let's give it a whirl. Glad I did. So, yeah. Mount Rushmore status of sour tart Imperial porters aged on wood. Belgian darks. No. I don't know where to put this. I like it. How about that? We don't have to put it anywhere. We can just say we like it. There you go. And like I said, I paid $17 for $7.50 of a 4-year-old beer that had a fun conversation with. I think that's worth it. Ranke, what's your experience with them? Have you been there in real life? What do you think of their beers? We've reviewed one or two of their stuff previously. Let's see what you guys think about, guys, gals, everybody in between. What you think about the Ranke. Have you had this beer? More specifically, have you had this vintage? And have you had it recently? Curious. See what y'all think. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers.